because of that. Vic,
Yeah.
are you ready?
I guess so.
Here we go, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it's time. Get your jock strap, sports bra. That's right, everybody wear everything. Time with Victor Allen's New Sports. That's why you can dress like that. All the new kind of different sports. Bald-headed black man. Rub his head, make a wish. They call him sexual chocolate. Everybody, it's sports, damn it! Yeah! Dress appropriately. And wash your ass.
That's pretty good, man. I like how you pull that off. It's cool, man. It's cool. All right, man. Now, honestly, Mario, before you actually engage with this sports talk, what was your favorite event that you watched? Whether it was part of it, all of it, or any of it, you know, it doesn't matter. Favorite event over the weekend that you caught a glimpse of?
My favorite event was actually, for the first time, Vic, my favorite event was actually the game this year.
The All-Star game.
Yeah, because 92, what was it at halftime? It was like 92 to 98 or something.
Yes.
At halftime. I was amazed.
Yeah.
I was absolutely amazed, but they were having a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you know what, I've accepted, I'm just saying this because I'm not sitting up here going to be one of those guys that's going to jump on them because they didn't do it competitively, because I think the smart money is this. It's an all-star game. I go out and try to do extra, and all of a sudden, I get hurt.
Exactly.
And then I've satisfied a temporary group so they can get their fandom on. So if you hear what everybody said about the game, and everybody is not what I call the casual fans, there are some people who are out there. They're gonna hone in the traditional media and compared to last year. Now, I believe the fun that the All-Stars have is the totality of everything going around, and then there's the game, how they're getting treated, where they get to go, all the media stuff, the parties. They get to sit back and kumbaya with all the professional peers. When you think about it, this is more than the Olympics to them, because all of them are congregating here. So if I look at it from that perspective, I'm going, imagine how much fun you're having. And you've done this, Mario, and I've been part of it in a very consumer level by being part of a basketball tournament. We went to New Orleans. My company at the time was saying, wow, they're allowing us to go play basketball and in a competitive national event. The games were cool, but everything that went around it, oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know, in a wonderful point of view, I think it's an excellent observation, Vic, that for them it is fun.
Yeah. For
the other people that are off, they like being off, because one of the things you hear from the league is everybody loves the off time.
Yes, sir.
There's vacation in the middle of everything. They can have a vacation.
Yeah.
So even the ones who don't go are happy.
Right.
But the ones who do go, if they're giving up their time to do stuff, at least it's supposed to be fun for them,
right,
and their family. And then you forget that they get to have fun with each other and
right,
do the camaraderie.
Imagine.
There they go.
Many of you guys will sit back and go have your companies take you on junkets to get trained or get the latest updates on operational considerations from whatever industry you're in. And you're going to go away from a weekend, maybe a week. Do you come back and tell your people about, here's the stuff I was being trained on. He was in IT. You don't do that. You actually talk about, I've checked out this point. My people met me. We did this. I said, so to me, I'm on that side. Now, on the other side, the story is when you actually go, do you enjoy them doing what they call alley-oops? In other words, back and forth, and no defense. Don't accidentally hurt me. Are you on the other side now, where you can go, let them play offense anywhere they want to. Do not try to impress upon defense, because you can run into an accident. What side are you on?
I'm on the side of just having fun.
Yeah. Same here, man.
Because, the whole way they started approaching, even making up the teams, right?
Right.
Having the people, how they were setting it up, who was playing, all of that. I agree with it, because it fits more of today's mentality, really.
Right.
And I think that's why people enjoy it more, let it be what it is.
Let me tell you what you got out of it that I automatically say, this is what they do pre-games with. I said, did you see the most dunks from LeBron in one game than you've seen in all the games so far this year? You get to see LeBron do his own dunk without the contest, plural, dunks. And I was sitting up there going like this. I said, he doesn't have to be in a competition. Just let him keep doing what he do.
Exactly.
And some people are good in-game dunks, and other people are good in showtime dunks. And the reason why I say that, I'm going to get to the point where the slam dunk competitions where everybody want to lead off at. Was I disappointed with DeAndre Jordan as it relates to, I thought he would do better. Aaron Gordon, he came off an injury.
I saw a couple of great dunks by him, though, with great passes.
But they expect more, but he's a better dunker in games.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I'm going like this.
Maybe he was just deferring to the other people.
Hey, I'm going like this. He's already in. We want to see DeAndre do something. But I believe he's a competition dunker. And then there's the showtime dunkers. And so now people or traditional media saying, would you be cool with letting street ballers be the halftime dunkers? But they don't play professional ball, but they only practice dunking. Would you watch them even if you don't know them? And could it sustain and last because they are not part of the regular first or second half season?
I've seen those shows, and they're all good. The question always was, as far as I know, a matter of money.
Yeah.
Because they always could have shown those, Vic, right? That New York thing they do in the park every year, as far as I know, that still goes on.
Yeah.
It has been going on for years, and the NBA could have embraced that more and more. I think at times they've done little bits of stuff.
Sponsorship and money.
Things, but yeah, it's a matter of what they do with it for what, and then I guess money, insurance, blah, blah, I don't know. But I know it comes down to money.
Yeah, it comes down to money.
So if they do that, though, I would be open to it.
I would be open to it because I just don't ever see the dunk competition having the prime stars. I think the newbies don't mind because they need their time. And Glenn Robinson, who won the dunk contest, or the third, they told you how many minutes he's played. They said he played a total of 28 minutes this year totally or something like that. And I said, now look where he's at. So I think the risk for those who are kind of newbies, not the primetime players. But if you're on a team and you're paying a LeBron or Carmelo or anyone, do you want them?
Well,
you want them flying?
I wonder because I just thought about it. You remember in the old days of the NFL, you had the Pro Bowl team playing. No, you had the Super Bowl winner playing the college team.
Right.
You could have the All-Star team or somebody play.
That's right.
Not instead of that, you could have the All-Star play the street ball team in an actual game, right?
You can, but you got to not. Do you want
let somebody coach them for a certain amount of time ahead of time?
Potential.
They're going to get killed, but the point is, everybody still will want to see it.
But see, here's the part, and I agree with you. The problem is to me, it's like the All-Star game. Is it worth the money for a potential injury from people who are not really part?
And I don't know because that's how they did this. But just imagine, they used to play the Super Bowl winner.
Yes, right.
Against college All-Stars.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, which was crazy.
It is crazy, and I'm still in this place where there's too many people around now because we're in this right now, Mar. You know, everybody knows it used to be basketball just to be in basketball. Now the afterlife is basketball, and let me be a global entertaining entity that happens to be basketball. That's where LeBron James is going. That's where they try to get Shaq to go. When you become global like Kobe, and Kobe wasn't really trying to do a lot in that way, but that's where a lot of the basketball players are going.
So they have no choice. It's the way everything is today.
True. So true. All right, now let me get back to the part that you guys already know. Anthony Davis is the top of the headlines, even supplanting Westbrook, because not only did he break Wilt Chamberlain's record with 52 points and a couple of rebounds, he actually got a new teammate. Now, it's not totally official, but now DeMarcus Cousins is in the Pelican trade, and they're working out all the details. They get Tyreek Evans and Carroll, I believe his name is Carroll, and a couple of future draft picks. Now, that's not a big deal as it relates to Anthony Davis, as it is that people are looking at the Sacramento Kings and going, where are you guys going?
He was always supposedly unhappy. Maybe they had no choice.
Right. No, I agree that they had no choice. But what they're saying is, here's the most productive big men in the NBA right now. Now, when they say that, inside, out, the whole package. Now, Anthony Davis may be more talented and younger, and he's yet to hit that level, but now he's being paired with him. The Pelicans are like 20, I think they're 5 or 6 games under 500. My question to you, Mario, is how many spots can they move up with DeMarcus now playing center?
I want to watch it.
Yeah, I know I want to watch it too.
That's all I can tell you. I want to watch it. I'm interested. Right. I'm even interested in seeing what Sacramento does because sometimes, a lot of times these things surprise you because they go with the work ethic and they do the rebuilding effort, and people step forward.
True. And let me say this also. Okay. Future draft picks is the only thing you are getting with Sacramento. So I'm going to leave them alone. All I'm going to say is you have one of the most productive units coming together in youth on a team with a guy who just won the what you would call the MVP in the All-Star game, which I call an alley-oop contest. And seeing what he does, nobody can reach where he reaches when he decides to sit back and go towards the basket. He's just unstoppable. Now, that being said, somebody may not be as productive on the team in the earlier development.
Yeah, always.
Who do you think will have to take less as it relates to taking the stand back? Because Anthony played both. He's a power forward, but playing center. DeMarcus is a center trying to play power forward, and he's doing it well with 3-point shooting as well.
Yeah. What in the season? What was this? That was their season average that you put up there? Was that the All-Star game?
That is their averages together right now. They're so close. That's the season average.
I still was thinking that they were going to both be over 20 points a game, and I'm comfortable with that.
Well, look what Kevin Durant and Curry did, and Curry knew this. Everybody said this. Imagine a big man with handles and can shoot the 3-point shot and can go to the hole. Although you got Curry at 6'2", maybe 6'3", notice who had to yield to point production. Kevin Durant is the leading scorer on Golden State. Will it be DeMarcus? And I always say this, the one who's closer to the rim that gets the loose balls and the rebounds tend to have the putback and comeback and the higher field goal percentage. Who will that be? Would it be DeMarcus?
No, I think probably it'd be Anthony Davis. But I'll tell you what, I don't think it matters that much because I think in these kind of instances, it'll work good for both of them.
Right.
It may even be back and forth or whatever, but I think it still behooves them.
Yeah.
Maybe I think for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be good to see. I just don't think any of the issues, they'll both be over 20 points a game. And so
I agree.
It's going to be how the defense is. That's going to be something to see.
They don't have extra parts. We know that. They don't have the extra parts because they have given away some of it. But they knew something had to change because when Anthony Davis went to the playoffs a couple of years ago, they haven't returned to that. No big problem. What gets me is that, let me just kind of wind this around to where I thought the story was going to be, because I look forward to watching the Pelicans now. Clearly, you're going to see them all of a sudden have an eyeball on them. And if we hope that DeMarcus will contain his temperament, maybe being surrounded by a different organization of people. Imagine you're in the All-Star game and you score 41 points. 1 point shy of Wilt Chamberlain's record. Get 7 rebounds and 5 assists and you don't win the MVP. That's Russell Westbrook. Because everybody's watching Russell and Kevin Durant. Did you see the little sideline antics they did after he did the alley-oop? Okay. Do you see that Russell's keeping himself away from, and you have to see the post interview. He said, does somebody ask him a question in the way of saying, does this mean that you guys are this and that and this and whatever he said? And I apologize because I can't remember the exact quotes. Russell's kickback was, did you see it? Meaning if you didn't see it, it ain't happened, right? Do you believe they were in the back in the locker room, Mario, and keeping distance from one another? Or do you think this is all keeping the media, the mystery, but they're all cool in the back room? Or do you think this is all real?
No, I think it's real.
Think it's real?
Yeah, I think it's been consistent.
It sure has. It sure has.
When it's consistent, I believe it's real.
Okay, true. Now, I'm going to kill this name. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Got it. Milwaukee Bucks. Had 30 points and 6 rebounds. He didn't win the All-Star MVP. And then Kevin Durant had a triple-double. So imagine you have to score over 52 points to win this. Here's my point. Which single individual did you watch the most? You might have saw Anthony do his thing or seen.
I think Westbrook.
Westbrook. You watched him more, did you? Same here. I did. I watched him more. I couldn't help it. So now here comes back to my question leading out of this particular part. Harden was nowhere around in the community.
Oh, wow.
Who is going to be your MVP based on what the launching point of the All-Star game? Do you still stick with James Harden or Westbrook?
I go Westbrook.
Same here. That's the easy one, man. That's the easy one.
What was Harden's numbers?
Man, it was like, I don't know, 15, 17 points. I can't remember. But it wasn't much. And Harden, you know, he is not trying to impress anyone. Yeah, I think he's a gamer. I think he goes, get me in the real game, let me do my thing. So I looked at his body language. That doesn't mean he wasn't trying, but it just seemed like he was out there just going, hey, let's get through this, and then we can go on back and do what we do. That's not necessarily a good thing, but I think it was a smart thing. Why get injured? Don't try to prove anything. All right. Third, fourth subject down. This is bad because you're supposed to lead with the slam dunk competition. Did you watch it?
Well, I think I missed it.
Okay. See, this is the hard part. We covered it already by saying what they should do. Will you remember Glenn Robinson III? Have you searched? Have you seen commercials? Have you seen anything, or have you been at distance? Because because he doesn't get a lot of playing time. Although it's not his fault, but he wins it.
Whose fault is it?
Oh, wait a minute. You say it's not his fault. Okay.
I mean, you said it's not
Wait a minute. This is the example where I said, you think it's required that you have a better brand, or you have to outright woo everybody at the All-Star game like, Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon did last year, which is an all-time show. I don't know if I can see two people akin to, say, Dominique and Jordan, but their show was unbelievable. Setting this show up this year, and it was a complete letdown in comparison. Not a letdown because they're performing. But you haven't seen the dunk yet, have you, Mark?
No.
See, that's the point. That's the point. So maybe they're not showing it on traditional media.
Well, I didn't see it on the sports report.
That's my point.
Yeah, because I did see it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I said, oh, man.
Let me see what happens today.
I'm looking for it because I watched some of the stuff this morning.
It wasn't on the sports, was it?
It wasn't featured because what they're saying is, you know what they're following? The Twitter stuff. People are really disappointed. And if you watch tomorrow, I'm going to just say this. The People's Choice who won it last year, Aaron Gordon, he was out, the first one out. Injury. The second one out is DeAndre Jordan. He's a 6'11", 7-footer. And then the third guy, Jones, who's a surprise, was basically outed for missing shots. So you really had somebody that only had to complete their dunks. That's a difference in making the dunks because they're hitting, I got you one better, I got you one better. So since you don't see it, I don't know if it's going to be memorable. That's all I was saying. And
I want to see it. So what was it? Was it good or not?
Let me say this.
You said it wasn't.
It was good.
Overall, it wasn't as good as. But you watch every year.
Yeah, competitively,
it was noticeably not as good.
Yes, you know why? Not because he didn't dunk well. He did dunk well. It's the absence of the other guys. I mean, Aaron was favored, who's on the far left here in the pick. He was favored to win it, but nobody knew he came off an injury recently, and you could tell. And then you had Jones. I think it's Derek Jones. He's the newbie who basically doesn't get any PT time. Very impressive, but he missing dunks too. And then you get to DeAndre, where everybody said the two is going to be Aaron and DeAndre. A
lot of them missed dunks.
They missed a lot, and so by default, all you had to do is make your dunk.
They didn't practice enough.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on how important it was.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because they're missing dunks.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm still giving props because they showed up. I know I would have a hard time dunking on 8 foot. But let me go on to the one where I sit there and say, hold your vote for right now. I already asked this question. It's halftime. Who's a better second half player when it comes to the MVP race?
Westbrook.
Man, Westbrook is going to love you, man.
More defense.
Think so? Think that's going to be it? Because when they clamp down,
more defense. He does.
Right.
You see him. Okay, I'm not saying Harden can escalate his defense at times too.
Oh, he can. He can.
They definitely can.
He can.
Even though sometimes it seems to some better people, but he can. But I see Westbrook again play the role of the MVP more.
Right.
And that's on offense and defense more.
Right.
So that's just my impression.
Yeah, I got you.
And numbers, I don't know how that's going to be borne out in numbers. I get the impression that Russell's presence on defense is way better than Harden's.
He has to do a lot more on both ends of the court.
Right.
James has to do the same, but James has a great crew of people who actually can press and do defense. Russell is unfortunately going to suffer from what they call 50-game winners. They usually say, look at your MVP over the years. It seems like they usually are tied to a team that seems to always win close to 50 games or more. If Russell can get this team to like 48, maybe 49, and increase their position, I think he can get it. But the Houston Rockets are probably going to carry James Harden to the MVP because that's just the way the voting goes with most of them. They look at the wins of the team and say that's a direct correlation to you actually uplifting the team. Scoring a lot and your team is losing, they don't translate that to the MVP. So I agree with you. I'm pulling for Russ, but hey, man, I like Harden as well. All right, I want to go to the story because football is done, but there's the Pro Sports Hurt Hotel registration. So when you go into the Hurt Hotel, it could be various reasons. And so the Hurt Hotel has its own type of people. It seems that there's a registration pending for Darrelle Revis. And if you haven't heard the story, it's very simply put. Revis allegedly physically assaulted two men during an altercation on the south side of Pittsburgh in the wee hours, 2 o'clock in the morning on February 12th. He faces a preliminary hearing on Thursday after turning himself in to authorities on Friday when he was released on a non-cash bond.
That's all we know, so that's just a fight. I can't tell anything from that.
Can't tell anything. And here's the story before whatever happened. How do you feel, Mario, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's two men coming up, and they may be pulling out their cameras to do this, and you have no idea what it is? How do you deal with that?
I just say be careful.
No, Mario, I already know what you're doing.
Be careful, especially when you're a celebrity.
Right.
But you maybe ain't even supposed to have bodyguards and stuff.
Think about it. What he was doing, based on his report.
In the wee hours.
He was, because it's close in proximity to his real estate property he just purchased. He was going to his real estate, walking to his property. That's it.
Right.
Not hanging out.
You're a celebrity.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess today's world, people have bodyguards.
And so
you're a celebrity or else they don't go out.
I agree. Which is your life.
Shit happens just because people want to make a name.
So, if you want to see what allegedly happened, if we roll to the next picture, there were two guys who were knocked out to unconsciousness, courtesy of TMZ Sports. These are the two people that approached him. They don't know what transpired to get to there. They don't know if it's a scam. They don't know if Revis engaged them. Nobody knows. All they know
is they're white.
They
arrested him.
Or just
had it been the other way around.
No, he turned himself in. He walked.
He turned himself in because there was a warrant. There's no need to turn yourself in. So they put out a warrant.
Yes, they did.
I just wonder, had it been
who reported it?
Had it been a few of the white dudes?
What if they're still asleep?
Yeah, no, I'm sure somebody had to file a complaint.
Right.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
The police, they don't have like ESP or anything. Someone has to file a complaint.
Okay.
And so I just wonder what would have happened had it been a white dude knocks out two black thought to be attackers. I bet you he would not be in jail.
I'm going to this story.
I bet you would not be in jail.
I'm going to this story. There's two of your friends, and all of a sudden they're in the news and they're on the cement laid out like that, and they come over here to visit you. What's the first thing you say to them, man?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, you say, I'm sorry it happened to you. What happened? But that still doesn't take away the fact that the society views these things.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, you say what's happening.
See, I already said there's a possibility that they'll discover that this could be a setup. All those conditions, too.
Yeah, well. and I just normally had it been a reverse in color, I bet the celebrity would have went home.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. No, there's always.
So as a black man, you have to
absolutely.
arrest him because Darrelle Revis.
Right.
Had this been a white NFL player, he would have went home.
Yeah, and that point is proven that based on history, we know that to be. What I can't wait to hear is the story. And if it is true, and if it is that they actually are at fault and that they did get knocked out, and rightfully so, at that point, their history is going to follow them for a long time. It will be endlessly attached to them. So I can't wait to see this flush out. This Thursday, we'll hear more information because the hearing takes place then. But you know, Revis's lawyers are telling him, don't say anything. So that is the story right now, you guys. That's it. Pending, we'll find out more on the next New Sports coming following Monday about what happened with Darrelle Revis. I don't think it's going to be much. I think that all they're going to do is buy time and wait for discovery and all this other stuff. In the meantime, Mario, I'm out of my sports, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Victor Allen's New Sports, a weekly recurring segment, part of the Morning Coffee with Mario show. You'll find it here every week, written and directed by Victor Allen. New Sports, fan-based view. Remember to dress appropriately. Sports bras and jock straps. Right. Yeah.